podcast. Very, very excited for you to be here with me today. Thank you for joining me. Today we're starting this episode with a question. I want to ask you something. When was the last time you looked in the mirror and thought, this is not who I want to be. This is not how I want to feel in my own body. If that's you sitting like right here, feeling stuck, hating where you're at, wishing you could fast forward to a moment where you feel confident, strong, and just proud, this episode is for you. And I'm so happy that you're joining me for today. So I want to talk about something that might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but it is so important. We're going to be talking about taking those before pictures at the start of your journey, even when you hate just the thought of it, even when you feel like you don't want to see yourself in that state. And listen, I 100% understand, because I was once in your shoes. And actually, like when I, for example, go through seasons where I'm putting on some weight, whether it's intentionally or not intentionally, I don't want to take those photos. And I get it, right? The idea of taking photos feels almost like shining a spotlight on what you don't want to see. And I get it. You're stating right there, right? Maybe in leggings that don't fit like they used to. You're avoiding the mirrors at all costs, and the last thing you want is proof of where you are starting. But listen to me, taking those photos is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. This is one of the most powerful things. I'm saying that because, again, I used to be in your shoes, so I want to tell you why I'm telling you this, that this is so important. When you start your fitness journey, it's extremely hard, right? There are going to be days where you don't see the scale move, you feel like nothing is changing. You will question if it's even worth it. You will feel like giving up. All this is part of the journey. But those photos, they are proof. They are proof that your hard work is paying off. Proof that you are evolving into the version of yourself or the version you want to become. And one day you're feeling strong and confident. When you feel strong and confident, you're going to look back at those photos, not with shame, but with pride. Pride in how far you've come. Pride in the fact that you didn't give up even when it felt impossible. I have few photos that I have taken when I started fitness like 15 years ago, right? And I'm gonna tell you that I wish that I have taken way more photos, but I just hated what I saw, right? Like I didn't want to look at myself in the mirror. I didn't want to, like I said, like take those photos and even have them on my phone, because I hated my body for the longest time. So yes, it's very uncomfortable. Yes, you will cringe when you take them, but I promise you those photos will become your greatest reminder of what you're capable of. So let's talk about a mindset for a second, because starting this journey isn't just about taking photos or following a plan, right? It's about deciding that you're done waiting for the perfect time. I've talked to so many women, moms, caregivers, busy professionals, and they say, I will start after the kids goes back to school, or I will wait until work slows down, or I will do it after the holidays. But there is a truth, or here's the truth. The perfect time, it just doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, you guys. Life is always going to be busy. There will always going to be something. Just look at your last 5 or 10 years. Like, you know for sure that you've been putting off your goals and putting it on back burner, or yourself putting on a back burner, because there was always something. There is no such a thing like you going to have a perfect year, 12 months straight, without any distractions, without any vacations, without any other plans. Like, there is no such a thing, right? So if you're listening to this and thinking, she's right, I've been waiting and I'm still in the same place, I want you to hear me loud and clear. The time is now. Not next week, not after you get through something. It's literally right now. You don't need to have it all figured out. And I think that that's where most people feel like, if I don't have a perfect plan, I'm not going to succeed. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to take one step forward. That's it. That's it. Now, I also know a lot of you listening are moms or caretakers, and this hits hard for you, right? Because you're used to putting everyone else first. You are running the household, taking care of the kids, helping your partner, and somewhere along the way, you've convinced yourself that taking care of you is selfish. But let me tell you something. Putting yourself last doesn't serve anyone. When you don't take care of your health, when you let yourself run on empty, you are not showing up as your best self for the people you love. You're tired, you're frustrated, you're snapping at your kids or your partner because you're stretched too thin. And then one day you look back because it's a year later, 5 years later, 10 years later, right? Maybe even longer than that. And now you feel like you've avoided taking photos because you don't recognize the woman staring back at you. You feel fat, you feel unattractive, and completely disconnect from the version of yourself you want to be. And it crushes your confidence, your self-esteem, and everything. This is literally what I hear every single day when I am on the call with potential clients, and I hear this from moms so often. If this sounds like you, I want to ask you, what is costing you to always put yourself on the back burner? What is it costing you to always say, I will take care of myself later? Because girl, you deserve to take care of yourself, not just for your family, but for you. Now, I know a lot of you listening have tried it all, right? You've jumped from one diet to another, starved yourself, binged, restricted, and repeated the cycle over and over. And you're tired of seeing the no real results, tired of comparing yourself to other women on social media who have it all together, quote unquote, right? But let me tell you a secret. They don't, right? Those women you are comparing yourself to, they have their struggles too, and they just don't show it. The difference is with many of them that you admire or you honor or you feel like, oh my God, I want to be like her. The difference between her and you is simply that they just started. They decided to start. They've decided to stop trying to do it perfectly and just take massive action. Do you think that I have had everything figured out when I started? Like, you guys, I had like no plan. Like, I literally followed random YouTube videos on YouTube for like workout videos. I didn't know anything about nutrition, but I just decided to start because I felt just so tired of the way that I felt in my own body. I just couldn't really live like that anymore, but I didn't have a plan really. Like, I didn't feel like I know exactly what I'm doing, but I just decided to start. So if you're sitting there thinking, but I failed so many times, what's the point of starting again? The point is you. You are worth the effort. You're worth trying again. And this time, you're not doing it to punish yourself. You're doing it because you love yourself enough to want better. So how do you start? You start by deciding that today is the day. Not tomorrow, not Monday, today. Take those before photos, put on the sports bra, set up your phone and take them. It's not that hard, right? It's uncomfortable, yes. And yes, you will feel vulnerable, but this is the beginning of your journey. And every transformation story needs a starting point, right? Then I want you to take a small step forward. Maybe that's drinking more water today. Maybe it's going for a 10-minute walk during your lunchtime break. Maybe it's I don't know, signing up for that program you've been eyeing. Whatever it is, just start. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop telling yourself you will do it later, because later doesn't come and you deserve better than that. The woman listening to this who feels stuck, right? Who feels unattractive, who feels like she let herself go. I see you. And I literally had to record this episode because I just feel like I hear this way too often. Like, I have women crying on the call with me saying how they don't recognize themselves, like they missing out on so many things when it comes to like spending time with their families, going on trips with them, taking those photos, doing hikes, because they just don't feel great in their own skin. They don't have the energy, they always feel tired. I see you. I know how hard it is to feel like you've lost yourself, but I also know this: you have the power to change your story. Very often people ask me, Martina, how did you overcome an eating disorder? How did you fix your relationship with food? How did you got out of those 12 years of struggle? I mean, it wasn't easy. It was extremely hard. I'm not gonna say it was easy. It was probably one of the hardest things that I had to overcome in my life. But I've just decided that I deserve better. I didn't want to live that life that I lived for so long. I didn't want to hide. I didn't want to, keep avoiding social occasions, going for dinners, because it was causing me stress. Like, I didn't want to live like that anymore. And so that's why I've decided, and I also knew that I'm literally the only person who can change the way I feel in my own body. There is nobody else, whether it's my partner, whether it's my parents, my sister. Like, if I didn't say I can do this, I would not be sitting here recording this episode for you guys, trying to inspire you, whether it's with my own journey or all the clients that I impacted their lives. Like, I wouldn't be sitting here, right? You're not alone in this. So many women feels exactly like you do right now, but the difference between the women who stay stuck and the women who thrive is one thing: they just decide. So are you ready to decide? That's my question. Are you ready to decide? Have you hit your rock bottom already? Because that's what happened to me back in 2018. I literally just hit my rock bottom. So I hope that this gives you the push you needed to start today. You are capable. I want you to remember that. You are strong and you deserve to feel good in your body again. If this resonates with you, share it with your friend. Maybe someone who needs to hear that, maybe someone who keeps calling you saying how they don't feel great, and just share that with them. And if you're ready to take the first step, you can reach out to me. I would love to help you on your journey. We can hop on a quick call. We can go over, some questions to make sure that there's nothing holding me back from helping you. And if not, if you don't feel ready, that's okay. You can just send me a message and say, hi, you listened to this episode and you maybe enjoyed and you hopefully enjoyed it. But I just want to say, you got this, right? This is so important. I feel like we always have to put ourselves first, no matter what, right? Like, you should never neglect your own health. You should never feel like you have to put everyone else first, because next thing you know, you lose yourself. So take those photos and just be proud. And even though if you hate them, just tell yourself they will get better, because this is the first step. And listen, in order to make change, you have to do the things that are uncomfortable. Like, the things that are uncomfortable are the things that you need to do in order to see change, right? Because if we stay in our comfort zone, we will never ever make any difference or change, because comfort feels good, but that's not where the change happens. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for spending the time with me today. If you have any questions, you can always send me a message on Instagram, Martina_fit_YYC. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, I'll talk to you soon, and have the best day of your life. Bye.